Coach, start with the opening statement, and then we'll open up for some questions.
Yeah, I felt good where we were at halftime, as weird as it sounded, and I thought we would win the game. I really did. And we came back, we tied it up. We've been there. But what cost us the game was our first half shot selection. We just wasted so many possessions, and I don't know what to say. We showed clips of how we have to be willing to not settle for shots unless we get down to the last 10 seconds if it's not what we want. So all at halftime, we watched that. We watched our bad shots, said, all right, we're going to do this. We're not going to have much of a chance to win because the teams in our league that are more half-court based teams, they're not going to settle for that until you're in a massive bind when you do that. And so some of them were like turnovers because we settled for them so early in the shot clock. That was that. Then the defensive urgency obviously picked up significantly when we got our speed in the game, and we were right there. Tied the game up late in the game. Look, I just be real. Like this time of year, it's just there's not much tricks when it comes down to it in the last 5 minutes. It's just going to be kind of their key guys, your key guys, and you're just out there, and it's what it is. And I'm going to say their key guys played well. I mean, that step back three PJ made was huge. Able to get to the free throw line when he drove middle, shot fake, just got to the line. We had a couple looks there late from three, came up empty, had a layup, came up empty, had 2 turnovers there in the game. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, that's just kind of how it shakes most of the time. Is those last 5 minutes, just who kind of is going to make the most plays. And I thought that they did. They didn't miss free throws. P.J. Smith played really well. And as good as some of our guys played to get us back in the game, we didn't play great the last 5 minutes and make the plays kind of you got to do that. But look, say this, like Furman has not played great in conference. I know they're a 500 conference team, but they're a very good basketball team. So their conference record is not indicative of who they are. And they're just not. That's not indicative of who they are. They're a 500 conference team, but they only lost one non-league game. They returned 6 of their top 10 players off last year. They got a lot of returners, so they're a good team. So I wouldn't look at this as a game that we lost to. I don't know what place they are, 5th or 6th, 7th, or whatever they are in the league. I wouldn't look at it like that. I would look at it more of, hey, this is a good team, and you got to play really good to beat a good team in our league, and we didn't play really good. But we had a really good fight to get back in the basketball game, and kind of with the same guys you saw do it at Wofford. But we put ourselves behind the 8 ball a little bit with our deficiency scoring the basketball. When we do that, it's a problem. And we were able to get it going a little bit in the second half, which helped set our defense and helped get us going.
Speaking of that comeback, what was the message to that team going into that first time out of the half when y'all were down 21?
We just had to sub the guys in there. They're going to play with the most heart. I mean, just got to do that. You got to have everybody on that floor that look like they're on a mission. Win, lose, or draw, they're going to be aggressive and attack on defense and play that way. When you're playing against a more experienced team, it's got more returners. I don't know how. Yeah, I guess they're a little bit older. You got to make up for your lack of cohesiveness from not being here for years and years and years. You got to make up for that with how hard you're going to play and with heart and with extra fight. And so we had to make sure we got our fighters in the game to kind of make the game that kind of game.
Speaking of, I know obviously only one of these past 2 results have gone your way, but y'all obviously fought back within both these past 2 games. What does that kind of tell you about this team going down the stretch, about the kind of guys that you want to rely on going into Asheville?
Yeah, well, it just tells you who can play and who really can bring it and is really going to fight for you. Lucas Walls, he didn't score a lot of points, but all 6 of his rebounds were massive. I mean, they were. You could tell that guy was out here to battle. And I can. Every coach has their own thing. Some it's can you look pretty doing this or that. I mean, I like guys who I know that they're going to lay it on the line for us. And when we get those guys in the game, win, lose, or draw, you feel okay. You feel okay about it. And the problem is those guys can't play 40 minutes. That's tough. Can't play 40 minutes. So it's got to be a collective effort. It's got to be a collective effort. But I told them in the locker room that shot selection, we certainly had some bad fouls, but lack of urgency in the game to get it going, even weren't scoring the ball on defense, hurt us. And guess what? If it's not corrected, we could have won that game. And we certainly could have won that game. make a shot, 3 there late, another 3 and a layup, we win the game. I mean, even on our run, we're missing layups and don't finish it. So we certainly could have won the game. You just can't win a championship. Like, that's the difference. We could win that game just like we won Wofford. There's no difference in those games, like how they went. But you can't win a championship until you have everybody dialed in to play for 40 minutes plus overtime with reckless abandon, and then on the offensive end, totally understand and not get caught up in the emotions of the game what a quality shot is over and over and over and over.
This time last week, you talked about this team needing confidence, and that was probably going to be the key that you said to getting this team to start shooting back over 40%. Obviously, y'all shot 38% from the field tonight. Do you think it's still a confidence issue for them, or is it more just that shot selection like you just mentioned?
You're not going to be very confident when you shoot a low percentage, and you're not going to shoot a high percentage until you take better shots. At this time of year, like you got to be thinkers out there. You can't settle. Simply cannot settle for mediocre shots. And this time of year, it's not, everyone knows everybody. I mean, I don't know what they did for scout or we did. It's just everyone knows everybody. You wouldn't even have to do a scout. So, like, it's going to be the small things, like who is going to have the discipline to get what they want over and over and over, because everyone knows everyone. It's not going to come easy. You're just not going to come easy. And you're not going to get shots just coming down the floor, passing at one time, and just hoping it won't happen. And some of our guys fell into that trap early in this game. We don't do it as much on the road for whatever reason. I think we're too comfortable here or something.
Josh was a game-time decision heading in, but he was cramping. He was just trying to fight. Just what did you think of him and just the way that he was able to just go and attack the rim?
Well, he's such a big part of our team. He's playing good basketball. He's really good on both sides of basketball, you know. And the thing is, there's things that Josh could do a lot better even in that game. And that's the good part. There's a big upside to him. As he continues to mature and get better, he has a very high ceiling. And so I thought he played really well. I thought RJ was really tired tonight, you know. Got hit early, just seemed really tired. I was worried about him if he was sick or something, and I was worried about when he got hit in the head there. So you had to have Josh play pretty dang good because of, we need to move RJ off the ball because he was so tired in the game.
Coach, 3 games left here. You talk about that urgency. I know this is something you're searching for now. How do you pull this out of the guys with not a lot of time left before this tournament comes up?
You just got to keep getting better. Just keep getting better and learn from the mistakes that we make and continue to try to correct them. Sometimes when you have a younger team with not a lot of returners and not a lot of seniors, they play off too much emotion, right? It's too much emotion, you know. Even in that big run coming back in the game, we were taking great shots, and then we had the run there, and then all of a sudden we're taking 3-point shot with 24 seconds that's literally being blocked as it's coming up. I mean, just the emotions of that. It's just not championship level basketball. And so we got to keep getting better and learn to play off intensity instead of emotion of whatever's going on out there. Play off intensity, and that's how you can win championships. But if that does not correct, we cannot win a championship. I've been around championship teams. We've had 2 the past couple of years. But if that does not get corrected, we can't win a championship. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to be the first to say I got to coach them better all the time. We show them our guys over and over. But it's got to be a decision from all players in that locker room. And I'm talking about players here. It's got to be a decision from all those players in that locker room that emotions, and just because I took one questionable one, well, if everyone has that mentality, that's 15 bad shots in the game. And you can't overcome it. You just can't overcome it. And a championship team with upperclassmen, they're not going to do that. Yep.
With 3 games left, 2 games back now, some work to do, you need some help as well. What is that message? What is that challenge for these guys going forward?
Yeah, improve, get better. I mean, you don't play to the scoreboard, try to play to the standard of, are we playing our best basketball? And that's what we got to do. In areas, we played some good basketball tonight. Our defense the second half was pretty dang good. I know we're playing from behind, and they got some threes in transition, but, it kind of was what it was. We're playing catch-up in that scenario. But besides those where we really had to roll the dice, we played pretty good defense. We held them to 33% for the field the second half. They got to the free throw line some, and they certainly made those free throws. But we just got to keep plugging away.
You're
talked about Josh and the effort and kind of fight he showed playing on that one leg. Is that something you want to see for maybe the rest of the group? And in the second half, he had a couple of turnovers and kind of got his head down. What was kind of the conversation you had with him trying to get him locked back in?
That's why I just talk to him out there and in the locker room. Like, you got to be a champion at all times. Like, I mean, I told him, like, what about our shot selection? We talked about this before the game. We talked about shot selection over and over. And what do you think I want to do when we come out there and we take so many shots? What do you think I want to do when we throw the ball away there late in the game? And everyone's looking, who's coaching that team? You let them take those shots? I mean, am I this emotional guy with my head down? Or am I, So I told him, like, if you're going to be a leader, right, you're going to be a champion, you don't do that. You got to stay upbeat. You got to stay positive, which he's going to get to the next step on. He's young. He's going to get to the next step on. And these are good things for him to learn, because he's improving so much. Like, I don't expect him to be perfect right now. He's improving. He just got to get to the next play. Next play, be a champion at all times. Don't be so results-oriented. Show the signs of being a champion with your body language. And I think he'll improve that.
And Coach wanted to say Jaden Brownell had a season-high of 25 points, season-high 5 3-point shots, one of your best scorers today. Is that something that you can build upon going into the conference tournament and further?
Yeah, I thought Jaden was awesome. He played really well, shot it well. He kind of had it going from the start. We're trying to get as many shots as we could. And he played pretty good defense in the game. And that's the deal. He had a tough match. I mean, like, Cooper Bowser, their big guy could play anywhere. Like, I mean that. He could play in the SEC, he could play in the ACC. He's a very good player. You don't get too many guys like that. He's such a presence at the rim. And I know the guy, he went 6 for 8 from the field. Cooper Bowser did, had 16 points, had 6 rebounds. And Jaden was outmatched on that end, but he did pretty dang good on defense as well. As good as he could probably do. But, when we had to have those baskets, you could tell he wanted to shoot the basketball. And that was good to see.
All right, thanks, Coach.
I'm glad you asked me that because I was going to talk about Jaden. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for covering.